Hello and welcome back to another episode of Bedtime Stories. My name is Tracy and I am your host. I got a text message from the author of this book. This is I, the Wizard by Daniel McKnight. We are reading chapter 12 of part 1 tonight. I'm only reading one chapter because myself is tired. I'm quite tired. I did a lot of stuff in the last 24 hours. And I'm beat. I am pretty darn beat. But I got a text message from the author asking me what I thought of this book. And honestly, I'm enjoying it. I think it's pretty fun. The style choices on some of the descriptions, I would have wrote it different, but I ain't the author. I'm just the reader. I'll make the commentary and say things, and then I'll mark up the typos, but I ain't the author. I ain't wrote a book yet. I ain't finished one anyway. I've probably wrote enough to make a couple books, but I ain't finished one. Sure as heck ain't published one. So Dan's far ahead of me in that regard. But if you guys could please comment below and give the author your honest review on so far. So chapters 1 through 11 of I, the Wizard. And let him know what you think of it, because I'm having fun reading it to you, and I hope you're having fun listening to it. Now, before I get started reading this particular chapter, I need to ask you a series of very serious queries. Are you ready? Are we ready? Okay, we're ready. Have you gone pee in the potty yet? I went pee when I got home. I went to a birthday party for my improv teacher. Have you gone pee in the potty yet? Have you brushed your teeth? I didn't brush my teeth yet, but I did brush my teeth earlier, and I haven't really eaten much since then. But you know, it's fine. I do need to brush my teeth again before I go sleep. Will I do that? I don't know yet. I'm trying to do better about that. Honestly, it's a struggle sometimes. That's a habit that you're supposed to instill when you're real little. Your parents are supposed to like stay on you until it's like just habit. And my mama is anything but consistent, or was anything but consistent. She had major depression. Anyway, have you got your water next to the bed? I have my water right here. Yay. And have you done your stretches? I have not done my stretches. I should do my stretches. It would probably help me sleep better, but I think I will sleep the sleep of the dead as soon as my head hits this pillow and my lights are turned out, because I am exhausted. I've driven like 600 miles in the last day. Anyway, more than 600 miles. I'm tuckered. Either way, I'm tuckered. But you got all that done. I am so impressed. You were doing so much better at this grown-up stuff than I do. And I'm 45 years old. So count yourself proud. You should be proud. I'm proud of you. You're doing great. All right, babies. Since there ain't nothing else to do except like the video, subscribe to the channel, and click that notification bell so you can get notified next time I upload another chapter, we'll go ahead and get started. Cool. Make sure to check out the rest of the playlists. I've got several books that I've already read, and they are super fun. I did the Tarzan books, the first 4 Tarzan, the first 4 John Carter. I did the Song of Hiawatha. I did most of, and I think I made it private though. I don't remember, but I've got quite a bit of Gulliver's Travels. But that book is a very old troll. That the author is trolling. I'm telling you that it's not made for reading out loud. That is a joke, reading that mess out loud. Anyway, let us begin. Chapter 12. It's still 5 minutes of yammering. I'm so sorry. I just had a lot to say this morning, or this evening, tonight. I had a lot to say in the preamble. I hope you made it this far. I'm real proud of you. You made it this far. You must like this book. Please comment below and tell Dan what you think of the book. The trip to St. Cuhar was uneventful. It helped that Vivian had given me the pack of food and a skin of wine. I was able to stop by a stream for the night and not have to worry about trying to fish for my dinner. It also meant I could run a cold camp. A cold camp had several advantages. I didn't have to make a fire pit or a fire. Also, cleanup in the morning is easier. I was able to get an early start, but it was midday by the time I made it to St. Cuhar. As I made my way into the village, I saw the gatherers' camp. They were easy to spot, as the wagons of their caravan were all brightly colored. Located east of town, they were far enough away to calm fears of the locals, but close enough to be seen. It was their way. I decided that the best course of action for me would be to get a room at the local inn and get some rest. Being weary from travel was no way to question someone who probably didn't want to be questioned. I was able to grab a room and get a couple of hours of sleep before I made my way to the camp. Ah, sleep. I will see sleep soon. By the time I got there, the sun was starting to go down and fires were lit beside the many wagons. Curious villagers, brave enough to wander about the site, who were simultaneously afraid of the strangers but at the same time envious of their freedom, were already there. Not only was this a chance for the villagers to escape the mundane life of a rural, that word's so hard, rural community. It's not so hard if you get real lazy about your pronunciation right there. It was also an opportunity to glimpse a way of living that was completely foreign to them. Only the most daring of them accepted the invitations to go inside a wagon or tent where, bolstered by drink, they got a tattoo, an ear piercing, or a foretold future. There were also some things a bit more risque, if not taboo, for the bravest among them in a tent for men only. It was usually set alone, a short way from the camp. Although many wanted to see inside, only a few actually went in. For some, wine only goes so far. There was also a couple of gatherers outside of the tent to chase off any children who wanted to catch a glimpse of the glories inside by peering under a tent flap. I rode up and tied my horse to a temporary post, took my staff, and made my way toward the nearest wagon. A gatherer quickly came over and blocked my way. "We don't like wizards here," he growled. "You'd best be moving along." "I came to talk to the person in charge here. I have a few questions." Moving my left arm just enough to expose my long knife, I added, "I only want to talk." "He's busy," he said, unfazed by my weapon, as a couple of more men came to stand behind him. "Why don't you go see if he'll make time for me?" He took a step forward and clenched his fists. Why don't you get on your horse and take your questions somewhere else? Like I said, we don't like wizards." I looked over my right shoulder and laughed. A group of men had begun to gather around me. The man that first confronted me lunged. Taking a firmer grip on my staff with my right hand, I swung it, making contact with his head before he reached me. He fell as two others behind him moved in. I used the end of the staff and rammed it into the stomach of the one closest to me. The other one was faster than I had expected and was on top of me before I had a chance to react. We both hit the ground and rolled. My staff went flying off to my left. The gatherer got to his feet first and pulled back his leg to kick me in the head. I spun away and his boot missed my face by inches. Inches is kind of a lot, but whatever. I was able to get to my feet in time to see more men running from the camp, most of them sporting long knives or clubs. I pulled my own long knife and waited for the mob. "Stop!" came a shout from my left, and the group of men came to a halt. Out of the darkness stepped a man with bushy gray hair and a mustache. "What do you want here, wizard?" "Are you in charge?" I asked. "I am. I am the chatty here. The name is Ravenstone." "Ravenstone? Good. You're just the man I want to see. I have a few questions for you." "About?" he asked. "Do you want them to hear your business?" I asked, waving my hand toward the group of gatherers. Ravenstone looked at the crowd. "Let him through." I replaced my knife in its sheath, picked up my staff, and walked over to Ravenstone, keeping one eye on the three men who first attacked me. He led me into the center of the circled wagons, as members of his clan watched, who were occasionally distracted by one of the locals. Eventually, disinterested, they slowly wandered away, presumably to return to their wagons and the villagers, whose money was more important than eavesdropping on a stranger. Sitting down by the fire, Ravenstone asked, "What is it you want?" I pulled up a crate, sat, and looked him in the eye. Information. About what? 4 weeks ago, where were you? Wherever you think I was, I wasn't. Look, I don't care about some missing chickens or some magic elixir you pawned off. A friend of mine was murdered, and I was told you might have a reason to see him dead. Killing people ain't good for business. Business isn't involved. I wouldn't be Chad of the clan if I allowed personal feelings to come into play. Is that what you told Vivian? He quickly turned and frowned at me. Vivian? Something happened to her? No, she's fine. It's the man she was living with. That's the reason I'm here. Who? That wizard? If he's the one murdered, good riddance. That wizard's name was Rhaenyra, and he was a friend of mine. Well, maybe you should pick your friends with more care. He's the reason we don't want your kind in camp anymore. All he did was fall in love. In lust, you mean, he snarled. He put a spell on my Viv to get her into his bed, and then took her away. He took her away from me, her clan, and her family. Ray wouldn't cast a spell for any woman. It wasn't his way. For any woman. It wasn't his way. Besides, magic doesn't work like that. He turned to me, his face almost glowing red with rage in the darkness. Oh, yeah? Well, Vivian wouldn't leave unless she was enchanted. I see your point, I said, looking around. Why would she want to give up all this? Look down your nose at us if you want, but we have more here than most. We have food, shelter, money, family, and friends. Our life is one of never-ending adventure. Every day, each day, we see something or do something we never have before. Life for us is good. This is the way of the gatherer. It's been like this for generations. She was happy here with her clan until she met him. Not happy enough, I guess. He leaned closer to me. You don't know. You don't know nothing. His loud voice carried through the camp, and several men started to wander toward us. If your friend got himself murdered, it was not by my hand, or that of anyone here. I can't say I'm sorry to hear it. You'll not find any tears shed by me. Why don't you just tell me where you were 4 weeks ago? 4 weeks? We made camp at Sundale. It's about a 4-day ride west of here. You can ask the sheriff there. Why would he remember you? I spent 3 days in his jail, that's why. You were in jail? How could someone with your experience get caught for something that would land him in jail for 3 days? It's kind of hard to believe. Convenient, too. Believe what you want. It so happens that a boy here was sloppy and led the sheriff to the camp after stealing a pig. I told the sheriff I did it. Right. Why would you do that? This whole clan is my family, and I've been in jail before. It's more than a trifle for me. I figured I could use a couple of days' rest away from camp. Besides, that boy was only 9. Never been in trouble with the law before. Being a gatherer, he'll get his time in jail soon enough. I thought it best to let him be a kid a little longer. If what he said was true, there was no way he could have ridden to the village of Anon, kill Ray, and gotten back to his clan in that short space of time. That was, if he was telling the truth. What about this cast of miscreants? I asked, nodding toward the cluster of wagons. I told you before, murder ain't good for business. We both got up and started to walk back the way we'd come. I'll be checking with that sheriff. Are you going to be around? We'll pick up stakes and move on in a day or two. We come and go on whims, but wherever the clan is, I'll be there. We're easy enough to find, that is, unless we have a reason to hide. You haven't asked about Vivian. Why should I? She is your daughter, isn't she? I no longer have a daughter. That's terrible. She misses you, and she wants to come home. He lowered his head and in a low tone said, She made her choice. She can't come back, and she knows it. Turning away from me and heading back toward the camp, he added, Like I said, I have no daughter. And that's the end of chapter 12. I hope you enjoyed it. Good night, sleep tight, and don't let the bedbugs bite. But if they do, I hope you defend yourself swift and fiercely. I love you so much. Good night.